Hey everyone, welcome back to Easy Coding. Today we are going to discuss about part 3 of real-time questions of AC900 exam. So let's get started. So question number 51. A company wants to deploy a set of virtual machines to Azure. They want to ensure that the services running on the virtual machines are still up and running if a single data center fails. The company decides to deploy the virtual machines to two or more availability zones. Would this meet the requirement? So we have two options, yes or no. The right answer is yes, because it will ensure that at least one of the virtual machine will be up and running if any of the data center failure occurs. So the answer is yes. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 52. Which of the following service is a managed relational cloud database service? So we have four options: Azure HD Insight, Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure SQL Synapse, Azure SQL Database. The right answer is Azure SQL Database, because Azure SQL Database is a general purpose relational database as a service. And the SQL database is a high performance, reliable and secure cloud database that you can use to build data driven applications and websites in the programming language of our choice. So we don't have to we don't have to manage any infrastructure. So that's the reason Azure SQL Database is the right answer. So before moving on to question number 53, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please care to subscribe my channel for latest updates. So let's move on to the question number 53. Which of the following is an Azure cloud-based service that can be used to run complex queries across petabytes of data in relational database? So we have total four options: Azure HD Insight, Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure SQL Synapse, Azure SQL Database. The right answer is Azure SQL Synapse, because SQL Data Warehouse is a cloud-based enterprise data warehouse, which means EDW, that use massively parallel processing to quick run complex queries across petabytes of data. So the right answer is Azure SQL Synapse. So let's move on to the next question, that is which of the following service can be used to run an open source framework that can be used for distributed processing and big data analysis? So we have four options: Azure HD Insight, Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure SQL Synapse, Azure SQL Database. The right answer is Azure HD Insight, because Azure HD Insight is a managed full spectrum open source analytics service for enterprises. And HD Insight is a cloud service that makes it easy, fast and cost effective to process massive amounts of data. And HD Insight also support a broad range of scenarios like extract, transform, that means ETL transaction, data warehousing, machine learning and IoT. So the right answer is Azure HD Insight. Let's move on to the next question, that is question number 55. Which of the following would use to browse for available virtual machine images? So we have four options: Azure Monitor, Azure Subscriptions, Azure Marketplace, Azure Advisor. So the right answer is Azure Marketplace, because you can use the Azure Marketplace to browse for available virtual machines and images. Available virtual machine images. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 56. Which of the following would you use to view security recommendations for your Azure environment? So we have four options: Azure Monitor, Azure Subscriptions, Azure Marketplace, Azure Advisor. So the right answer is Azure Advisor. So you can use this tool to provide security recommendations for your Azure environment. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 57. You need to store certificates that are going to be used by an application that is going to be hosted in Azure. Which of the following services would you use for storing the certificates? So we have Azure Security Center, Azure Storage Account, and Azure Key Vault, Azure Information Protection. So the right answer is Azure Key Vault, because certificates can be stored using the Azure Key Vault service. And the next question is question number 58. Your IT administrator needs to view which user turned off a virtual machine in Azure in the last 7 days. Which of the following can be used to check this? So we have Azure Event Hub, Azure Event Grid, Azure Activity Log, Azure Service Help. So the right answer is Azure Activity Log, because you can use the Azure logs to see the various activities performed on the Azure resources. So the right answer is Azure Activity Logs. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 59. Would you incur additional cost if you create multiple resources groups in Azure? So we have two options, yes or no. Resource groups don't have a cost associated with them. So the answer is no. Let's move on to the next question, that is question number 60. A company has set up a VPN connection between their on-premise data center and Azure. Would they incur additional cost if they transfer several GB of data from Azure to their on-premise network via the VPN connection? So we have two options, yes or no. The right answer is yes, because there is a cost for outbound data transfer. Outbound data transfer means the data from Azure to the outside. Data coming out of the Azure. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 61. A company has set up a VPN connection between their on-premise data center and Azure. Would then incur additional cost if they transfer several GB of data from their on-premise network to Azure via the VPN connection? This is an inbound transfer, not the outbound. So we have two options, yes or no. The right answer is no, because there is no cost associated with the inbound data transfer. So let's move on to the next question, that is from where you can raise an Azure support request. So we have the Azure portal, support.microsoft.com, the knowledge center, the security and compliance admin center. So the right answer is Azure portal. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 63. Is it true that data stored in the archive access tier in a storage account can be accessed at any time? We have two options, yes or no. The right answer is no, because you have to rehydrate the data. That means convert it to either the hot or cool access style and then access the object. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 64. A company wants to use Azure Active Directory. Do they need to implement domain controllers on Azure virtual machines to use Azure Active Directory? So we have two options, yes or no. The right answer is no, because Azure Active Directory is a managed service. You don't need to host any domain controllers yourself to use Azure Active Directory. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 65. Is it true that Azure Active Directory provides authentication services for resources hosted in both Azure and Microsoft Office 365? So we have two options and the right answer is yes, because Azure Active Directory provides authentication services for resources hosted in both Azure and Microsoft Office 365. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 66. In order to maintain ongoing support from Microsoft, do you need to implement the security recommendations provided by Azure Advisor within a period of 30 days? The right answer is no, because this is not a key requirement to have an ongoing support from Microsoft. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 67. Your system architecture consists of the usage of two Azure services. One is an Azure web app that provides an SLA of SLA means service level agreement of 99.95%. Another is an Azure SQL database which provides an SLA of 99.99%. Which of the following would map to the final SLA determined by the system? So we have three options. An SLA of 99.95% which corresponds to the lowest SLA provided among the services. An SLA of 99.99% which corresponds to the highest SLA provided amongst the services. An SLA of 99.94% which corresponds to the product of both SLAs. So the right answer is third one, an SLA of 99.94% which corresponds to the product of both SLAs. Because the final SLA would be the product of the SLA of the two services. So let's move on to the next question, question number 68. Is it true that whenever you opt for Azure reservations, you then tend to pay less for virtual machines than the pay as you go pricing? The right answer is yes, because with the reserved instances, you can actually save on cost by making a commitment to buying a computer power upfront. So the right answer is yes. And let's move on to the next question, that is question number 69. What happens if Microsoft decide to end support for an Azure service that does not have a successor service? So we have four options. Microsoft would provide a notification at least 30 days in advance. Microsoft would provide a notification at least 90 days in advance. Microsoft would provide a notification at least 6 months in advance. Microsoft would provide a notification at least 12 months in advance. So the right answer is at least 12 months in advance. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, that is question number 70. A company is planning on migrating their existing network resources to Azure. They are exploring the various Azure services available for this purpose. Which of the following must they create first in Azure for the migration of their resources? So we have virtual network, management group, a subscription and a resource group. So the right answer is a subscription because they would need to set up a subscription first. The billing for the resources would be tagged against the subscription. So the right answer is subscription. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 71. You have to identify capex and opex cost, that is capital expenditure and operational expenditure. Is Azure pay as you go pricing is an example of capex, that means capital expenditure. So we have two options, yes or no. The right answer is no because Azure pay as you go pricing model is an example of operational cost. So this is an example of opex. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 72. You have to identify capex and opex cost. Are Azure's reserved VM instances an example of capital expenditure cost? The right answer is yes because you don't need to make an initial investment to reap large discount. This comes under capital expenditure. Let's move on to the next question, that is question number 73. You have to identify capex and opex cost. Is deploying your own data center an example of capex cost? The right answer is yes because you need to buy server, storage, network and other infrastructure upfront. Hence this will comes under capital expenditure. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 74. Which of the following is true when it comes to Azure services that are published in public preview? They don't have any associated documentation. They can only be configured via the Azure CLI. They are excluded from service level agreement. They can only be configured via the Azure portal. The right answer is they are excluded from the service level agreement because for services available in public preview, they are not associated with any sort of service level agreement. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 75. A developer needs to manage the settings of a web application via the iPhone. Which of the following Azure management tools can be used for this purpose? Choose two answers from the options given below. So we have Azure CLI, Azure Portal, Azure Cloud Shell, Windows PowerShell, Azure Storage Explorer. So the right answer is Azure Portal and Azure Cloud Shell because one can use the browser based management tool, that means Azure Portal, and also use Azure Cloud Shell within the Azure portal. So that's all about today's video. If you have any queries, please comment in the comment section. We'll see you in the next sessions.